Hey, what's up everyone? Dave Hunt here, and today I'm gonna teach you how to jump rope fast. So we're gonna go through some speed drills, and I'm gonna break it down to give you the tools that you need to learn how to add speed jumping into your jump rope workouts. If you have not taken a look at our jump rope community yet, please click on the first link below. We've got lots of great workouts, challenges. You've probably heard it before, all sorts of great stuff, a whole bunch of awesome people to encourage you and motivate you in your fitness goals. The rope that I'm using today for these drills is the 1/4 pound agility rope. You can learn more about our products in the second link below. So, jumping rope for speed. They say speed kills in athletics, whether it's football or basketball or track and field, soccer, it doesn't matter. Speed is important. Boxers love doing speed jumping because it's so great for that hand speed they need in their matches. So, jumping rope for speed has an entirely different set of benefits than jumping rope when we're just trying to work on our cardiovascular endurance. But it's also a little bit more challenging and it takes some more patience. So I'm going to go over some of the basics of the type of skills that are best suited to practicing your speed, and then some of the things that you want to watch out for and take into account when you are doing some fast-paced interval training with a rope, trying to maximize and improve your jump rope speed. So let's first talk about the types of skills. We've gone over some tutorials in the past that address some basic skills like the basic jump or jump rope jacks or alternate foot step. You're probably familiar with double unders. Are any of those skills better for speed than other ones? And the answer is yes. It's just simply more difficult to rotate the rope faster and keep the same bounding pace for any skill that involves both feet landing on the ground at the same time, unless you're doing more than one revolution per bound. So I want to show you real quick. If you are doing the regular basic jump, the only way that you can improve your speed and go really fast is by jumping so little off the ground that you have time to land and bound back up again quickly. So there's very little margin for error when you're jumping and training that way. Take, on the other hand, alternate foot step. And now, because only one is impacting and the other one is preparing to impact each revolution, it's just easier to rotate the rope at a quicker speed and maximize that rotation. And then the double under. So the double under, even though both feet are contacting at the same time, you're doing 2 rotations per bound. So in a way you can double the speed at the same bound rate in comparison to basic jump. So let's go over some of the mechanics of practicing for speed. And I'll start off again with a quick refresher on arm positioning, because if you don't have the proper technique in arm positioning that you've learned from the basic jump, you're just not going to be able to increase the rotational rate fast enough to really get to the top speeds in your jump rope training. So as you remember, you're going to have your hands in line with your hips. You're going to have them 6 to 12 inches away. And your upper body, your shoulders and your elbows should be relaxed. They're acting as a counterbalance for the rope rotation that is being initiated by your wrists. So when we're jumping and we're starting out nice and slow, you'll notice that nothing changes with my arm positioning or mechanics. All that happens is I'm making smaller and more rapid circles with my wrist. If I have a big arm motion on the jump, either with my shoulders or with my elbows, not only does the arc of the rope become inconsistent, but it takes a lot more energy and it's a lot slower to have to rotate your whole limb or from your elbow down. So don't worry too much about speed until you've got the basics down, the basic jump. Another thing when it comes to speed is that you have a choice of rope types. So there's bare wire ropes, there's cable-coated ropes, and there's PVC ropes. Anything 4 ounces or lighter is going to be just fine for speed work. This is, in fact, probably about the heaviest that I would go, and this is where speed ropes like the bolt set that we offer are going to be really, really useful for training that maximum rotational speed. And the reason why is because the thicker the rope is, it's not just about the weight, it's about the thickness that has more air resistance, and it's difficult to rotate it quite as quickly. So if you have a beaded rope or a real thick PVC rope or a cotton rope, you're just not going to be able to train for speed because you can't rotate it around that quickly and cut through the air. Now, when it comes to drills, I call these accelerations, and you can do them with any skill, although I recommend starting with some of the skills that I just showed you. So the way that it works is you're going to get into a nice, comfortable, paced rhythm where you have a lot of confidence that your technique is correct, and then you're going to gradually increase the pace till you get to the threshold where you mess up and make a mistake. This is where it's fine to make a mistake, because you're testing, you're trying to get to that next level of speed. So if I'm doing it for my alternate footsteps, it looks like this. I'm going to start out nice and slow. Make sure that my arm position and my bounding technique is proper. Gradually pick up the pace. And then eventually I'm going to mess up, because there is a limit, no matter how much you practice. But the point is that you're working on increasing your new highest speed threshold when you're doing these drills. And when you go to workouts where you're working speed, now you're able to train at a higher level than before once you get more and more comfortable. Now, when you are jumping, one of the main tendencies that people have, and this is similar to the endurance training, is that as you start to push the pace and increase that speed, or as your muscles start to get tired, there's a tendency for the arms to come out wider. And I say it every time. You remember that if the rope arc is the appropriate length with the hands in the right position, as soon as your arms start coming out wider, it shortens the rope length and it's going to hit your feet. So just be aware of that when you're jumping, because it's a natural tendency for the arms to start coming out wider and shorten up the length of the rope. For double unders, when it comes to speed, if you are having a hard time with double unders in the first place, doing these acceleration drills is going to be very, very helpful and useful in learning the proper rope control, so that when you transition to that high bound and the double jump, you're going to be more comfortable with the rate at which you need to rotate the rope. So just to recap, jumping for speed is a lot of fun. It has great benefits for speed, agility, athletic performance, and overall fitness level, because it is a high intensity endeavor. So start out with these drills. Always go with the basics first: the arm positioning, proper bounding. Once you build up your ability with your technique, then you can start doing some of these drills where you're practicing accelerating and focusing on the proper rotational technique.